Hello everyone, it's Shane Kanto, your Wasteland reviewer, and I'm here to review Season 1 of Percy Jackson and the Olympians, and this is a new Disney Plus series based off of Rick Riordan's classic, coming-of-age book series, one of the more successful young adult series. I was such a huge fan of Percy Jackson growing up, and pretty disappointed by the two movies that they released. But then I heard the series was happening, heard Rick Riordan was going to be part of it. I was pretty darn excited for it. And honestly, it lived up to most of the hype for me. I do feel like the first couple episodes of this series, like the setup ones, feel like they're too drawn out. And they take its time a little too much. And it's a bit clunky in terms of some of the setup. But I feel like once this gets on the road, it really works. And the story of a young demigod, Perseus Jackson, and he must go on a journey with two friends across America to find the stolen lightning bolt of Zeus. This is this first season based off of the first book, The Lightning Thief. And Walker Scobell, I think, is great as Percy Jackson. I really enjoyed him in The Adam Project. So I'm like, he's a really good young actor, and I think overall he does a great job. Leah Jeffries, who plays Annabeth, and Arian Simhardry, who plays Grover. I do feel like there's some moments where they feel a little out of their depth, but generally I like their performances. And like I said, the weak elements of this is I feel like the setup's a little too drawn out, because this is an 8-episode season, and the whole first 2 episodes are just the setup, and don't feel like they have the same amount of energy as every other episode in the season. And most of the episodes feel like a creature of the week, situation of the week, the Medusa situation. You have Hephaestus, you have getting caught up in like the Lotus Casino, and all these different kinds of things. It's exciting, it's fun, and this has great energy, but it also makes sure to make you feel the weight of this situation. Like, this is a big quest for these young people, and the ramifications are huge in the grander story, and I feel like this first season really sets up the story well, does justice to the first book, and tells this wondrous adventure really well. And I feel like there's some real standouts outside of our young folks here. Oh, also Charlie Bushnell, who plays Luke, who's one of the supporting demigod kids. I think he does a really good job in his performance. But like Glenn Turman and Megan Mullally and Jason Mantzoukas, I think they all do some rock solid work in what their characters are supposed to be in a lot of like the early episodes. But then you have likes of Adam Copeland, pro wrestler, playing Ares. I think he does a really great job. He embodies that well. Toby Stephens, though, I think is the real standout of the supporting cast as Poseidon. Especially in the season finale, you really have some weighty moments there, and he sells it all. Lin-Manuel Miranda's fun as Hermes. Lance Reddick, rest in peace, showing up as Zeus, and just this feeling of power and presence just really works. The only one that, the only of the gods that I wasn't completely convinced about was Jay Duplass as Hades. Maybe when you see more of him later on, maybe I'll buy into it more, but just didn't really work for me. But in general, I think that this was a well-done adaptation, making some adjustments where they needed to in terms of the first book in the series. I think it's a great fantasy adventure. I think it delivers on some of those twists and turns really well. And I think it's just seeing the growth that Percy goes on throughout this story. By the end, Scobell really sold that building confidence over the course of this season, and I was really loving his performance in those last couple episodes. There's definitely emotion there. There's fun. There's a lot to be had on this little journey in this first season, and I can't wait to see what they do adapting the other books. But those are my thoughts on Season 1 of Percy Jackson and the Olympians. Let me know what you think, and let's talk some TV. But thank you as always for tuning in and supporting your Wasteland reviewer.